Hi, Rosalie. Good to see you.
Hello. I'm on time. All good.
All good.
I am so busy. I'm not kidding you. I can't come up for air today. I've keyed in 3 or 4 so far. Still can't get that thing to work. But anyway, bye. Sure, this is off.
Let's give it one more minute. For everyone on the call, please note that I'm also live streaming on Facebook. Well, let's kick it off. Good afternoon, everyone, for this Power Up Call of June. Thank you very much for joining. My name is Reinder Limburg. I am the Director of Sales and Strategy for ASEA in Europe. And yeah, we have some information to share with you for today's Power Up Call. And we will be starting with an interview with Ascent trip attendee Rosalie Brewster. Then afterwards, I will tell you a little bit about some current and upcoming incentives, and also about promotions. And then as a reminder, I will share some thoughts on our WhatsApp channel, because we are also communicating through WhatsApp in a new and improved way. But let's start off with our Ascent trip that took place last week. We just came back, and if I speak for myself, and I think I speak on behalf of all the attendees, it was again a wonderful trip. And I also want to take the opportunity to say thank you very much, of course, to all the participants, because if you have a trip like that, but you have no attendees, it's not a fun trip. But mostly I want to say thank you to Matisse Falla, my colleague, who organized this trip. Always a lot of eye for detail, and she put together a wonderful program that I think everyone enjoyed very much. And as mentioned, I also invited Rosalie Brewster to talk about her experiences. But first, I just want to show you a couple of pictures of the event. We had a professional photographer with us during the trip. He took amazing pictures, but I think that if you look at this picture, all smiling faces, this was just before the recognition dinner started. I think that you can see that everyone enjoyed it. By the way, I'm looking at this picture right now. Madis is there in the top right, not on the group picture with us, but working, of course. Because at these trips she's working 24/7, well, or at least almost. But a wonderful picture. We did many great activities that Rosalie will probably tell you a bit more about in a second. But just I wanted to share some pictures with you. And you probably also saw some pictures on social media, because many of the attendees shared so much. And we really appreciate that. Here are some pictures of the beautiful city Dubrovnik, where we were, some of the activities with the big ship that we sailed away on, pictures from the speedboat challenge that we did, the goodie bags that we handed out at the beginning, a nice overview of the hotel, and on the top right, the welcome dinner location. Bottom middle, the seating for the gala dinner or the recognition dinner, and of course a picture from Tyler, who was also there together with Chuck Funky, our CEO, and also our chief legal counsel Ben. Tyler was there just to join us on this trip, but also for the training that we had. But now let's go over to Rosalie. I think that many of you already know Rosalie. I would also like, Rosalie, I would like to ask you to tell me a little bit about yourself. But before you do, I want to mention, of course, that Rosalie is a gold executive, and she was also one of our first prize winners for this Ascent trip. So I will stop sharing, and Rosalie, please introduce yourself. And then I will ask you some questions about your experience during Ascent.
Hey, hi everyone. And thank you very much, Reinda, for inviting me to come and share some of this exciting times. Still trying to come down a little bit from here as this time last week, getting ready to go. So I'm a former nurse and have an interest in the human body and helping people. And through that, I make lots of friends, and I'm in my element in ASEA. I had a traumatic brain injury some years ago, which left a little bit of trouble heading my way. And through the technology and through taking ASEA, I can honestly say I am back into the mainstream, and it really piqued my interest in just how consuming the ASEA products have changed what was the future of my own life. So yes, that's me. I'm very interested in different areas of the body. I love the nervous system most importantly, but I love to share it, whether it's with children or whether it's with really quite poorly people. I feel like I have the product for almost, well, for everyone, really, everyone.
Thank you so much. I also see, I was looking at the participants, and I see that your Diamond Upline Sherry Clark from the US is also on the call. Thank you so much for joining, Sherry. It's an early morning for you, but I know that you always support your team, and Rosalie also very much. So really appreciate you taking the time out of your morning schedule to join this call. But I invited you to talk about Ascent. It was your first Ascent experience. So just walk us through the trip. How was it for you? Tell me everything.
Oh, wow, there's a lot to tell you. I've just got my little, it's off my lanyard actually, and we had the itinerary on the back, which was really helpful. I've never experienced such a fabulous trip in such a beautiful location. I'd never actually been to Croatia, so it could have been anywhere for me in the world. I was just happy to be there. But from the minute we set foot on the turf, really, we got to the airport. We had a lovely chauffeur. We were met by a lovely lady. We had no worries about where we were, and we had iced water in the car to the journey home and back to the hotel, and that was so pleasant. The room was just outstanding, and the picture you see of me when I'm off camera is me standing on the balcony. So I had this just never-ending sea view. The the food was to die for. There was just so many different varieties of food. You could not be disappointed in any of that. And, you know, when we had dinners and lunches, we were served really, really well. It was great. I think the first thing we did was to have a nice welcome dinner. So that was really nice. You got to meet some of the other people. We see lots of each other online, but to actually be able to see people in the flesh was just stupendous. It was lovely. I am all for training. I love to be in a training room, and to have the founder there to come and do some parts of the training as well really, you know, really warms my heart. There were other delegates that also did some really, really valuable training, and I took away lots and lots of information from there. My colleague Nikki that came with me, we spoke about this. We think one of our favourite things was to go out on the speedboats. And so we were put into teams, and you didn't know who was in your team until the briefing on the morning. And you were going to head up our team, but you weren't very well, were you? So we had Chuck Funky, who had not actually met, you know, so much in person. What a guy, what a tremendous guy, and his wife. They joined us on our speedboat, which was, of course, the best team, really. But Tyler was really revving up his team and really making it quite a nice little challenge. But we had some fun out there, and we had to do some activities and challenges, and it was a points awarded system. And all that mattered to Chuck Funky was that he beat Tyler. So we're having lots of fun about that. But we came joint second, and the only thing we didn't get was a photograph of a seagull. And that's all the difference was between us winning and coming second. But the fun we had was mighty. It was great.
So I think that one of the challenges was also to catch a fish. Did you complete that?
Yes, they did. They did. So it was just ridiculous. And there was a time when we had to, it said, do something different. Leaving the boat and getting into the water, jumping into the water, you know, take a photograph of that. We were given a camera, waterproof camera. And so we had a wheel line that had a product in their mouth. 3 of them were on the back of the boat, and Chuck Funky did a backflip, and the others did a couple of things. But of course, the camera didn't see that. It only saw the still. So I'm sure the judges, if they'd have seen the effort and how they were executed, that would have got us those extra points.
Thank you for sharing that footage of the backflip that Chuck did, by the way. Much appreciated.
Yes, that's Nikki. Nikki did all that for us. So that was great. What did we do then? We came back, didn't we? Then we went on the boat for dinner. I mean, it was just non-stop beautifulness, just really heart-filling. And if you haven't been on one of these trips before, I can assure you, once you have been, that's it. Your business and your energy and your importance of sharing this product to be there again is just it's just overwhelming. I would never want to miss going on a trip like it. And the lady you just mentioned, I'm sorry I don't know her name by person, I did find her to say, I cannot believe the attention to detail that was in every aspect. You know, we didn't need to, we got signposts everywhere. There was just nothing that wasn't done. And even when Zoltan gave a little talk as he got his recognition, I hadn't thought about the long journey for the 3 guys from Utah. I mean, for your founder and your, you know, the lawyer, and for the CEO to come all that way to be there with us was just wow. I hadn't even thought. So I sometimes speak with, well, very often speak with Sherry and Jack, and they talk about distances, but I just hadn't, you know, sort of calibrated how far they'd come to be with us. I mean, that tells you about the heart of this company, and that's what I love. And as I mentioned, Sherry and Jack and Mark DeBrinkett and David, they are just 4 special people that really helped me move forward with my ASEA opportunity, and I'm very fortunate to be working amongst them.
The executives from the US have been on European trips before, so they're fighting amongst each other who can join the European trip.
I think it's the one to be on, isn't it? It was wonderful, you know. I really don't know what else to say to everyone except whatever it takes for you to be on these trips, please don't. It's unforgettable. Just make sure that you are there, so that you experience some of the things that I did. And I don't know how you improve on any of that, to be honest. But you could be anywhere in the company of those people. We met people from Sweden. We met people from, oh goodness me, we were, who's Barbara, the lady we met, was from Copenhagen, Denmark. I mean, so many different countries as well. It was lovely. And the bond, you know, with Catherine and everything, that people that are on my doorstep, really, by comparison, we now become friends. We can help each other, we can share things and ideas, and it just puts those communication molecules between us as human beings in a different light. So yeah,
I think you're absolutely right that it's going to be difficult to create the same trip next year. Melise always makes it very difficult for herself. But I think the most important thing when you talk about trips like this, it's the people that make the event. If you see how much energy everyone put in the activities, you mentioned the speedboat race, everyone was so excited afterwards, but also during, at least what I've heard is that everyone wanted to win, everyone participated in all the activities, taking photos, jumping in the water, swimming, trying to catch a fish. Just everyone was so motivated to do it. And yeah, really the people make the event. So thank you for that. I do have another question for you, because you mentioned her briefly, Nikki, your team member that you brought as a guest. What I saw, and of course, I'm also observing during a trip like this, looking at everyone, trying to talk to as many people as possible. But you and Nikki, you were always with your mobile phone, filming things, taking photos, and I saw already quite a lot of your footage and photographs on social media. Did you decide on this beforehand? Was there a specific reason for this?
You know, when you get the chance to meet so many great people in the company you're working with, you can't just sit there and wait for them to come to you. So yes, we had a plan that we would, you know, film and take lots of shots and different activities and anything we could. And you know, to split up and to join in with other people as well, you know, not just to keep to ourselves. We just didn't want to do that. And that's what happened. And she really enjoyed it. And she was great company, you know, she's confident to do that. And she'll have lots of things up her sleeve. She's much better than me on technology. And so, yeah, and she does things like, I see some of the diamond teams doing, you know, put such lovely, powerful posts together that we decide on and we go forward with, just, you know, increasing our awareness with other people and, you know, hopefully encouraging them to come and take a closer look at us. But we got so much support from everyone. The gala dinner, I swim every morning, and I always swam at about 7 o'clock in the morning. I walked down on the Friday and it said pool will be closed on Saturday for a gala, and I just thought it was a swimming thing. But come later on in the day, I realised they'd vacated the whole of the pool area for our gala dinner, and I hadn't joined the dots. And the setting on the rooftop of this gala dinner was extraordinary. And of course, later we had music and dancing and socializing and just seeing the other side of people that you'd already got to know. But what's lovely, although we see each other frequently on the Zooms, when you meet in person, there's no barriers. It's like you've always known them. It's such a wonderful experience, and there's lots more to come this year. Still chance, isn't there, for Marrakesh, and there's September. I mean, if you don't go to September to Texas, wow. I went to Budapest last time when it was on. I joined the emerging leaders there, and I just had such a fantastic time. So if there's something coming up, whatever it takes to be there, do so. And of course, the beautiful people we're meeting along the way.
That's I couldn't agree more. For me myself, this is also a great opportunity to reconnect with people that I haven't seen in a while, or to meet new people. Even though we saw each other in Budapest, we were not, let's say, very connected back then. So for me, it felt like meeting you for the first time as well. Even though we speak more than once a month, and there were many more people that it was such a pleasure to meet him for the first time. So definitely
in September, you know, a good man upstairs, or everything going well, I get to meet Jack and Sherry, and honestly that will be crazy, because I've spent so many hours being mentored by those two, the hours and hours they put in, and all they've given me to bring me forward to where I am today. And I've never ever met them. You know, we speak at all sorts of hours of the day, as everybody does to their uplines, but I have this real special friendship with them, and I just cannot wait to meet them. It brings tears to my eyes now. I could bawl about it, but it was amazing, honestly, everyone. I'm sorry I can't perhaps impart just enough of the emotion that I experienced there. It's one of the best times of my life, seriously, you know, things set aside, just gifts after gifts after gifts from speaking to others, and just loving the role and loving the opportunity. So yeah, thank you, Inda.
thank you so much. Maybe one last question.
Yeah.
One takeaway from this entire trip. I know it's going to be difficult, but please give it a go.
Goodness me. One takeaway. Oh gosh, there's so many. Well, meeting Tyler again, you know, having a bit more time around the corporate team, probably for me, because I don't know everyone as well. So yeah, Edward, I had never had the chance to speak to Edward. That was really, I really appreciated that. He gave me some real lovely, what's the word, recognition, if you like. Just, you know, you guys are watching us more than we realize. And yeah, it was nice to be known, and nice not just to be a number. Everybody has this real personable element to them, and friendships. Yeah.
Well, it's good that you mentioned it, because first and foremost, this is a trip to recognize the success that you have had, and all the other qualifiers as well. It's not easy to qualify for this trip. It's hard work for a very long period of time. The qualification period runs 6 months. You need to keep your, let's say, the same level of business, and grow your business, and focus on personal enrollment. It's teamwork, it's performance, it's growth. And yeah, I like to see this as a cherry on top, because what you already have is a growing business, and you get rewarded even extra with this cherry on top, with this great trip. But really pleased for you. And yeah, sorry, please go ahead.
Just going to say, Sherry would probably recognize this most of all. There's been a huge growth in me working towards this trip. So, you know, the other side of that, wherever you're starting from, it builds you, and, you know, you become like the words we use in ASEA, you really do become that new person. And I've certainly grown in many ways. I've got things much more successful for me financially. I had no idea there was all that opportunity in the business plan. I'm not an analyst. I'm not a person to look at it. I just go and make some more friends and share what I know, and whatever happens, it grows. But it started to encourage me to want to look a bit more. So it's great. So yeah, it's grown me as a person, and I'm all for that. So
wonderful, Rosalie. Thank you so much. And well, I already mentioned it. There will be another Ascent trip next year. I'm very sorry, but I cannot tell everyone where we're going. This is not my my place. This is not the time, and it's not my place to say. You mentioned the global convention in Dallas, Texas, or Fort Worth. this is when it will be announced. So if you're not going there, make sure that you buy your virtual ticket so you can see that from the comforts of your own home as well. We completely understand that not everyone has the time or the resources to go all the way to the US, but a lot of information will be shared here, including the Ascent destinations. Yeah, I think it's crucially important for everyone to know that once an incentive or a qualification period like this starts, to really sit together with your upline, with your team, who's willing to qualify. Of course, everyone is willing to qualify, but you need to know what it takes to qualify. But you can prepare for this by setting targets for yourself and really include this in the way you want to see your business develop, and take this as one of the goals as well. I surely know that you will do this, Rosalie. As you mentioned, you never want to miss another trip again. I think you're absolutely right to do so. Thank you very, very much for joining today and sharing your experiences. It was such a pleasure getting to know you a little bit better, seeing you face to face as well, and so many others from all over Europe, because I think we had qualifiers from 13 or 14 countries, many different languages. I hope everyone was able to understand everything. We try to do our best, but yeah, great to see so many people from all over Europe together to celebrate the success and to enjoy this with this wonderful trip. But Rosalie, thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thank you for asking me.
You actually already mentioned it. You said there are so many more things going on. You mentioned the Marrakesh Incentive. This is also what I wanted to share next, as this is still an ongoing incentive, and because the qualification period for Marrakesh will end July 21st. This is a leadership development incentive where, let's say, you can earn points for the help that you have been offering for your team, helping them rank advanced. And it was also a qualification period for 6 months, so there's still maybe a little under a month to go, but also a very exciting opportunity for 10 people that can qualify for this trip and go to Marrakesh, paid by ASEA. So please have a look at this. We have been sending updates to everyone that is in either in the top 10 or in the top 30, so that everyone knows where they are and still has the opportunity to make it. And what I also really like is that we came together in Croatia for the Ascent trip. And what are we doing? We are already announcing the next incentive. And Rosalie already mentioned it. We will start another qualification period for the Emerging Leaders Training, which will be a 1-day exclusive training for the qualifiers. And the training will take place physically in Budapest the day before our conference. So the conference is on February 24th and 25th. So the Emerging Leader Training will take place the day before that. And we will have corporate speakers, field leaders, teaching you all about leadership and what you can do to grow your business and to be a more successful leader. So please mark this in your calendar as well and know what you need to do to qualify for this, because we have 4 qualification criteria, and you can see them on the screen here as well. And out of these 4, you need to fulfill 2. The qualification criteria are to be an executive momentum pool earner, and the executive momentum pool is part of the compensation plan. If you earn an EMP bonus during the qualification period, once you fulfilled this criteria. The second one is to be paid at rank Director 700 50% of the weeks, because the qualification period will run for 26 weeks. This means 13 weeks D700 or up. The third qualification criteria is to successfully complete 2 fast forward challenges. It doesn't matter if it's a fast forward or a fast forward plus. If you finish 2, that's the criteria fulfilled. And the last one is to have a minimum personal involvement volume of 1,500. By setting these qualification criteria like this, we have 4 and fulfill 2, we will get a really nice mix in this training of very experienced leaders that are hitting higher ranks almost every week, that are still very active by sponsoring new people, finishing fast forwards. But we also allow the new joiners to qualify for this, for instance, by finishing 2 fast forwards and then very likely also fulfilling the 1,500 personal enrollment volume criteria. So mark this in your calendar. It started this Saturday. It will run until the end of December, the qualification period. So keep track of your personal enrollment volume, your rank, and make sure that you and many of your team will qualify for this very exclusive training. And hopefully we will have many qualifiers, because these trainings can really make a difference. I can still remember vividly the emerging leader training that we had last year, also in Budapest. The closing by Tyler was amazing. We had an external speaker, Willy Stengel, that had wonderful tips on time management. Well, a lot of things, too much to mention. A little bit more information is that if you go to your virtual office right now, you will see this picture, the emerging leader training with Learn More, where you will get the flyer with all the details, a little bit more information about the training itself, and also a leaderboard. If you click on the leaderboard right now, there is no one there because no one has qualified just yet. But hopefully we will see our first qualifiers popping up on this list really soon. And the Learn More, where you have information about the qualification and the training itself, is available in many different languages. So English, Danish, French, German, Hungarian, Italian, Mandarin, Norwegian, Romanian, Spanish, and Swedish. So a lot of languages. So if you don't want to look at the English file, or you want to have a closer look in your own language, hopefully it's amongst these languages, and please share it with your team. Just to give you a little bit of background, because this will be the second physical emerging leader training that we will do. My colleague was so nice, because we did a survey after the first training to share some thoughts of the participants as well. So this is what past qualifiers had to say about the training. I think it is very valuable to have emerging leaders trainings, especially the parts with our leaders, Tyler and Ben. This was an important training, and I wish everyone that can see themselves as future leaders could participate. I really like the positive atmosphere, the mood in the organization, the generosity of the company, and the directness of the managers. It is extremely human and exceptional these days. Many thanks to the organizers and the speakers. As I said earlier, it was life-changing. I learned a lot about myself, my time, and what I need to do to grow in this business. I think if people would know the impact of this training in their lives, they would qualify instantly. Thank you so much for these amazing days of training.
Could I just say, Reinder, when I joined, this had just been announced, and I hadn't even thought about coming to Budapest. I was so new, and I didn't know about it. I'd read it, but it didn't mean a lot to me. I hadn't got a passport. Everything was against me. And then I got the suggestion to go from Sherry and Trish Winkler said, why don't you come? I got a passport within 48 hours of the date of going. And this training changed everything for me. I arrived in Budapest by myself. That's okay, because there's lots of people there. There are thousands of people there. But I walked into this emerging leaders training and just sat at any table. I didn't know where to sit. And the great love and comradeship that was given to me. I urge any of you on the call, or if you have team members that are brand new in this business, this is not too much for them, but it will be the making of them, because it's such a foundational day, very specific, tailored to you, nothing's too much. And the friendships and the help that you get, that's where my journey began for coming to Ascent, really. All the lovely knowledge of the company and how it prefers you to work and encourages you to do things. it really made my journey, looking back now, it's made me really feel that day did make such a difference. So I really encourage you, even if you're a leader of very new people, they can make this, and it will be the making of them, is how I would say. So yeah.
Thank you so much for that addition, Rosalie. One more. I am grateful to have been able to participate in this fantastic and useful training course. Thanks and recognition to the organizers. It's a wonderful leadership training and team building tool at the same time. Thanks and gratitude. Well, I think that thanks and gratitude is also what you have shown. We really appreciate it, Rosalie, for you taking the time. Not just to talk about Ascent, but also about this emerging leader training. I can talk about how important I find it to qualify for these things. But when it comes from you, with your experience, it's a lot more powerful. So thank you so much. But yes, please, everyone, try to qualify for this. It's a great opportunity to be at the training and also to go to the conference afterwards. So you only have to fly in once. This is why we do it, to make it as accessible as possible for everyone. We are open in 22 markets. We cannot go to every single country to do a training like this, so we have to combine it. One thing is the more qualifiers you have from your team speaking the same language, the higher the chances are that we can also offer translation. I think the last time we offered at least Hungarian and also French, but hopefully we can offer more languages for this training as well. Very much looking forward to this, also preparing for it, putting the program together, but because it's linked to the conference, we also have the opportunity to have many of the corporate executives from the United States there that we really will and want to leverage for this training. And then this is maybe a disappointing slide because it says global promotion coming soon. I am not allowed to say any more than this, but I just wanted to put it on your slide so that everyone keeps their eyes and ears open, because there is a global promotion starting very, very soon. I don't think I can say Saturday, but it's most likely going to be Saturday. And then one last slide, I mentioned it, we do have a WhatsApp communication that we can use. What you can do is scan this QR code so that you will be added to this channel as well. We have shared information, I think this week twice, to remember everyone that this call was, but also to send information about the emerging leader training. When we have promotions, we can also use this channel to reach even more people. We know that not everyone will look at social media daily or will read their emails every single day, and this is just another way for us to communicate with you. So please try to please add yourself. That's a bit weird, but please join this way of communication as well by scanning this QR code. So scan it, just send us one message, hi, and click on I want to subscribe, and then you're in. You will receive text messages from us. If you no longer want to receive these text messages, of course you will have the opportunity to unsubscribe at any time. Thank you so much. Special thanks to Rosalie and also her team for joining. Everyone, it's always a pleasure to host these calls, especially when we have such a lovely lady as Rosalie on the call. I'm looking forward to seeing you again, Rosalie, whether that's in the US, in Hungary, or anywhere in Europe or the world. Can't wait for our next meet.
Me too. Thank you, Randa, for inviting me.
And then our next call will be on July 19. We already have a pretty good idea of what we will be talking about on this call. So put it in your calendar or schedule or agenda, whatever you want to call it, depending on the region where you are. Let's see each other then. Thank you so much. Have a great evening, and until next time.
Goodbye, everyone. Okay.